Do you want to steal the show? We're going to create characters that pop. Hi.
Hey, Francine.
I'm so excited today. I just had a wonderful conversation with Joanna, and I recorded it so we could share it with you.
Yeah, because Joanna has been busy away at summer camp, I believe. We're in the heat of the summer and all of the busy of summerness, so Joanna hasn't been able to join us. And we've kind of missed Joanna a little bit, and we thought maybe you did too.
A
And
lot,
why
a
should
lot,
she have
a
to
lot.
miss out on the fun? Which brings up a very important point, Francine. Just because you might be further away from Jacksonville, Florida, doesn't mean that you can't collaborate with us. There
True.
are a ton of ways that you can collaborate with us online. And if you really want to collaborate with us in person, we've even got that figured out for a weekend event. And so I think that's important because sometimes you might be telling yourself, my schedule, it's just not going to work out. Joanna's really busy. Francine, you're really busy. I'm super busy. And when we first sat down to talk about this idea, we realized that with all the creatives we were going to be working with, everyone was going to be really busy.
But that's the important part of coming together for this weekend retreat. It's called slow down to speed up for a reason. Because if you go, 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 go all the time, you don't take the time to build yourself up. You don't take the time to relax. You don't take the time to have fun. And creativity requires all of that. And the best part about this weekend is going to be all of these creative minds and all of this creative energy in the same room, coming up with new ideas, networking, finding out how we could help each other take our creative businesses to the next level.
So this whole live stream, the stuff that we're doing online, everything that we've been talking about doing together is all about collaboration and community because more than ever, having community to kind of hold you accountable to doing the things that you joined the community for is it more helpful in people's lives than it ever has been before. And it brings bigger opportunities than just what you maybe started that community for. Because that's the cool thing about networking with like-minded individuals is you never know what opportunity is hiding behind a conversation with someone. And the more you get to know them, the more they get to know you and what it is that you really want to be creating in your life, the easier it is for people to refer resources to you.
That is true. Now that people understand what I'm doing, that we're writing this book, that I've written, that my children's book series is growing strong. Now people are saying, "Oh, let me connect you with the podcast host, get you on their podcast, who connects, and then that person connects me to two more." And I'm doing podcasts 2, 3 a week now. And guess what? If you join our community, you have that opportunity to meet that level of people, that level of creative energy that will help you meet the right people to move you into the next chapter. And I said chapter for a reason, because what are we writing? We are writing chapters. Go ahead, tell them about your chapter, Heidi.
Well, my chapter is going to kind of tell more of the story of a song that I plan on releasing later this year. So my chapter is part of a much bigger marketing idea that I have for releasing my first song. So I'm going to leave it at that today because I want to have enough time for Joanna's piece. I'm just going to leave that little teaser there because if you want to know more about my story, I think you're going to go back 2 episodes. I'll find the link once we get the Joanna's video started for today. And I'll get that in the chat for you. And we'll also put in some other relevant links as Joanna's talking. But Francine, while I get this all loaded up, why don't you tell everyone what you and Joanna recorded on Saturday?
Yes. What we did is, if you've watched the previous episodes, and we'll put links in the comments with a couple of our previous episodes, we used my story development template, and we walked through the development of her character, Ruby, who is the character of her one woman show. And we went through and we picked out all of the parts of the template that Joanna has developed in Ruby to show you how, when you're developing your characters, that it's not that hard if you reach inside yourself and come from your own experiences. Or if you're uncomfortable with that, hey, pick a friend or a family member and use their experience. It doesn't all have to be true as long as it inspires your audience. Now, I prefer to be true because then when I'm on these podcasts being interviewed, I can keep all the facts straight. So remember that when you're writing yours, because you're going to be talking about it, you're going to be selling it, you're going to be living it when you're signing all those books as a published author.
All right, so let's
Okay,
see how this
Joanna,
works.
it's so
Here we
good
go.
to have you back, even though our viewers are going to be seeing a video of you. It's still good to see your face on the Believe Retreat live stream again.
Thank you.
We are going to be using the story development template. And first, I want you to tell the audience the character that you're going to be developing and why you're not writing about yourself as so many others are.
Absolutely. First of all, Francine, I have missed you and Heidi. I've missed the folks in our community who are tuning into our live stream every week, and I will be back soon. So I just wanted to start off by saying that appreciation and gratitude for this platform and the amazing things we're creating together. And so my character is actually a character from a musical theater production that I currently perform as a one-woman show that soon will be a fully cast production with 13 actors, a seven-piece band, two acts. We've got it. And so this particular character um, also represents not just ideas that I personally have or thoughts and feelings that I've experienced, but represents an amalgamation of the women in my family. There's history and something that we can all relate to. All creatives, people that have a song in their heart, that have desires of sharing their gifts, beautifying the world with the things that are inside of them. And then she has her moment. So this is Ruby Wilson, who is the focal point of Precious Gems, the musical. And oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I was just going to say, I have heard it. I have seen the first half of this musical, and Ruby is quite the character.
Thank you so much. You know, what we see right now, when we meet a person is it's really a collection of their experiences that have molded them and caused them to be who they are, what makes them tick. They have motivations and reasons for doing things that are below the surface, beneath the surface, that people would not even guess. Is the reason why a person might respond to some way or even share in another. So it's nice that this is behind the scenes, because Ruby always wanted to be in show business. She wanted to sing and dance like Shirley Temple. She was born in 1936. She got married in 1966, which saved her from being called an old maid. And she went to the School of Performing Arts and even auditioned to be on Broadway. But unfortunately, she got involved with some unsavory people and was a victim of sexual violence. And then boop, she closed up. She put a lid on her dreams and poured herself into being a nurse for children at the state orphanage. So this is the story of so many creatives. They compromise what they really wanted to do because of situations, circumstances, losing belief in their self, losing belief in their dreams. And they're doing something else entirely with their time and to make a living. And there is something inside of them that is not settled, that's just nagging and begging for attention, begging to be fed, to standing up for their existence. Hey, remember me? Remember what
That's
you
why that's why we're making this video. You had to
Yes.
go to work at a real life job, and we were missing you. And hey, remember me?
Yes, exactly. Yes, the Believe sisters. There were three of us. It was a trio, and all of a sudden, for a month, you're a duo. Hello. Thank you for that. Thank you for that accommodation. But I'll be back. Just have a
You
couple
are
bills
back.
to pay. Yeah, here
So
I
let's get
am.
back to the story development template.
Yes,
You told us her name, Ruby Wilson, and you
yes,
gave us this rich description of when she was born and her motivations. So, what is the goal she has?
yes. So at this time, and also just so you can even see Ruby, she happens to be an African American woman born in the South who went up north. So she's now very close to living in New York City. And at this point in the story, she's a 50-year-old widow. She has two teenage children. Her husband died an untimely death. He was an alcoholic before they got married, but she didn't know. And throughout, and there were complications where his behaviors really caused her to withdraw even more from pursuing her dreams. And then, ironically, he was killed in a drunk driving accident. He was not the driver. He was sober. He was just coming home from work as the principal of a school in South Jersey, and and then had an untimely death. Very ironic. Happened to be on the anniversary of the Space Shuttle Challenger tragedy in January of 1986. So here we are. She's grieving the death of her husband. She's here with her children and has to get that strength she needs to make sure that her children have a wonderful life and that they're warmed by the memories of their dad, and that propels them to be the best that they can be as individuals. So at this time, she was able to finally live her dream of being on stage, of singing and dancing, of performing for others. But it's at this ripe age of 50, not when she wanted to, when she was 8. And so the chapter in our anthology, Believe You Can, is where Ruby is about to go on stage live for the first time with her new band because she got herself a nice gig, at a lounge in Atlantic City, New Jersey in the mid 80s. And she's going to be doing classic hits, soul, R&B, Motown, dance music. And this is her reflection. So it really all takes place in a couple of minutes of time. So that stream of consciousness, her thoughts and her feelings and her reflections on the journey that brought her to this moment, backstage in the dressing room, able to hear the opening act, the warm-ups, hearing the crowd, smelling the food, hearing the utensils on the plate and the clinking of glasses. So we have the sounds and the smells, the feelings, just the vibrations from the music, and she now has to go inside and center herself so that she can give an awesome performance. So it's a quick reflection, just like when they say that when someone is about to come to the end of their life and their whole life flashes before them. That's sort of what this is. It's connecting the dots. It's flashes of Ruby's life that empowered her to be here at this moment so that she can go out and shine.
Perfect. So you have already gone through the template. Let me recap. Okay. We talked about the motivation. When she was young, she wanted to be a singer and dancer, but her obstacle to her desire, she married an alcoholic that made her retreat into herself. And she needed to earn money so she couldn't go out into the world of entertainment. So she became a nurse. So her conflict was she needs to help support her family, and her husband wasn't supporting her emotionally. Maybe he was earning the money as a school principal, but he wasn't supporting her emotionally, and he wasn't allowing her to develop her creativity because she had to be the dutiful wife and take care of him. So the tension that created, the tension and the dilemma of Ruby still wanting to be a singer and a dancer, but I have this husband. And then the emotional turmoil of losing him and the irony that it wasn't him driving, that he was killed by another drunk driver when he was sober, leaving Ruby alone with her kids. And then I have the chills right now just talking about this. And then she gets to realize her dream. And the last 250 words of your chapter are going to be all about her mindset of finally getting on the stage. Did I get that?
Yes, you did. And I just wanted to add even a couple of components too, that the conflict wasn't simply because of her husband. That takes a huge toll on individuals because alcoholism, it's a family disease, not just the individual. But she felt the pressure, the social pressure to keep up appearances of this happy Christian couple involved with education and community service, and such a great example. So it was terrible to the duplicity of keeping up appearances so you don't rock the waves, and then finding out that no, I've got to be authentic. I've got to live a life of truth. And there are many people that the person is still in their life, a person who sort of brings them down and hope they're still alive. It's sort of convenient, right? He has an untimely death, but he was also the love of her life. So that was a challenge as well. I just wanted to incorporate there. But what are we doing? Is it going to be 1,000 words that we're going to have?
1,000, 1,200,
Right,
somewhere
yeah,
in that
1,000 to
neighborhood.
1,200.
Yeah.
There's a way that we can make it juicy, colorful, powerful, and impactful. And I cannot wait to share that story.
Okay, so while we're talking about Ruby and you, so you said that Ruby is a conglomeration of you and the women in your life.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people watching right now might have a story like this, and maybe they don't want to write their personal, possibly even an Al-Anon type story of their life with an alcoholic, but maybe what if they made up a character
Yeah.
and talked about their feelings through the character, how
Sure.
their character believed they could and did, but your feelings are bubbling up through your character. Just an
Yeah.
idea to throw out there for somebody who might
Yes.
have a powerful story, but just isn't ready to really put it out.
Yes, it's therapeutic. It's a writing is just like journaling, and journaling is a great way to get started with regular writing your thoughts and then crafting them and to make it fictional so that you can include all the elements that you
Can
want to
include all
include in your story. Why not? There's an extra level of imagination and creativity that you get to bring to share this story. And anyone's life can be an exciting book or movie. Someone who seems like they might be the most boring person. No, they have an inner life and they have experiences and they've gotten through whatever it is to survive. All of us are survivors from living in a crazy world, and all of us have something to share. And so whether it's fictionalized or it's documentary style, essay style, however you want to share it, whether it's a song or a piece of visual art, or a play, a book, all of the arts, literary, visual, and performing arts are wonderful ways of sharing stories. And we're just sharing, helping people to do that one. Go with a book, then have this book, use it as a tool to promote your brand, your movement, your cause, your product. And I'm just so glad to be a part of it. And thanks so much. You're asking great questions, Francine. I love the template.
Thank you so much. So everybody, if you would like to come on this show like Joanne just did, and we could go through your story with the template and talk through it. Now remember, Joanna wrote this story a while ago. She has crafted the songs and put it to music and recorded it. This story wasn't always as succinct and put together as it is now. This is just an illustration of how you could use the story development template and we can help you develop your story. If you're not a writer, you don't like sitting behind the typewriter, we could talk through it and then have it transposed to words on a paper for you.
That's right. I can't wait to implement all the methodologies that it takes to get people to share their stories.
And now, back to the show.
It's back to us.
Yes.
Great interview. Oh, I miss Joanna so much. It was so good to see her.
Yes, and she said she'll be back soon. And if not, you know what? Maybe I just need to get with her on a weekend again and we could talk some more. So I want everybody watching this video, pop a question in the comments that you would like Joanna to answer, and we'll do another interview with her answering your questions.
Perfect. Well, let's see. We're freestyling for next week, so not really. Oh, Actually,
Hey, Heidi, why don't you put the link in if someone wants to be a guest on our show, and maybe somebody watching us right now would like to come on our show?
all right. Well, give me just a second for that.
Okay, and there's no obligation to join, except for, well, we ask our guests to join our free community and talk to all the lovely members in our community, because it's another form of networking. And people who are in our world, the creative world, networking is where we make our money. So if you want a new opportunity to network, to be seen, to be on a live show on a Tuesday afternoon, then please fill out this form, select your date. Next week is open. Heidi,
All right.
it's time to close us out.
It is time to close up. So, if you can conceive it, wait a minute. There we go. We had to switch screens. It just wasn't right. We're uneven, and that was not proper for this scene. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you know what? We can get as close as possible. And so, if you can conceive it, you can believe it, and you can achieve it. So,
From your head
from the head
to the heart
to the heart to the hands.
to the hands.
Yes.
Yes,
You
you
can.
can.
Thanks, everybody. See you next week. See you in our community.